بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. So we are in a new portion of the text. We're not continuing on a previous sentence, but there is actually one part of the previous sentence that I wanted to comment upon. So the previous part was قال الشافعي رحمه الله تعالى هذه السورة, and this wording is a bit, not to say odd, but it is not the common wording. هذه السورة لو ما أنزل الله حجة على خلقه إلا هي لكفتهم. So the word I was going to go through was أنزل. We have not talked about these verbs before. So previously we have talked about the let's see. So let us move this a little bit, and we can do like this. Okay. So we've talked about three-letter words. So the masdar or the infinitive is, for example, fi'l. Fi'l. And the past tense is fa'ala. Present is oh. يفعل, and the imperative is if al. Okay. Some points to note here is that the fatha here and the fatha here, these two harakat are differing. They are different. They are not always identical. They can differ from past to present. So in the past you could have the kasra, and present you can have a fatha. And you need to learn these for every new word that you learn, okay? And the imperative is the same as the present haraka, okay? So these two are always linked. The past and the present may differ. And another point here to note is that the Hamzatul Wasl here, if'al, is not intrinsic to the word. So it is not a part of the word per se. It is only there to accommodate, or rather to avoid, the situation of beginning a word with a sukoon, because that isn't really possible in Arabic. You cannot have a word beginning with a sukoon like this, fa'al. It doesn't compute in Arabic. So if you were to have a wa here, for example, then the Hamzatul Wasl would not be pronounced. It would still be written in most cases, but you would pronounce it as waf'al, waf'al, waf'al. But in some cases, like in Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, you may notice that even it is even omitted in writing, right? With regards to anzala, so the basic word is nuzul, with the three fundamental letters being these ones: nuzul, nun, zai, lam, meaning to descend. To descend. To descend. And past is fatha, present is kasra. Okay, so we can conjugate. You should know how to write this word now, because I told you the missing piece of information. So it's fatha and kasra. نزل, ينزل, and as I told you, the last letter takes a sukun, and the middle letter takes the same haraka as the present tense, and the Hamza al-Wasl gets the same haraka as the middle one, except in the case that it is fatha, then it is converted into a kasra. Okay. So in this case it's a kasra, so it's also a kasra here. Inzil, inzil. But there is a way to construct a new word, a new verb, actually, from each, I believe, each and every three-letter word. You can construct a four-letter word. Okay, so with regards to the basic way of conjugating them, four-letter words, you take the same as the fi'l, fa'ala, okay, but you add another lam. So you say, the infinitive is, yeah, exactly. The infinitive is fa'lalatun. Okay, and the past tense is almost the same. Fa'lala. And contrary to the three-letter word fi'l, fa'ala, which means to do something, fa'alala, to my knowledge, doesn't mean anything. So, fa'alala is just a way of expressing a pattern on which you may apply other words in order to conjugate them. Okay, and then you have if yeah, exactly, fa'alala, and then you have you يفعلل, and here we will take it's exactly the same rule as constructing an imperative or conjugating an imperative from the present in the three-letter word. You will see, just take off the letter ya, and add a sukoon. Okay, so it's fa'lil, and there is no instruction to add a hamzatul wasl here because the first letter doesn't have a sukoon. It has a fatha. So it's not if'alil or something like that because there's simply no need for it. So fa'lala yufa'lilu fa'lil. And an example of this this pattern is zalzalatun, meaning earthquake, or also a violent shaking. So how do you conjugate this verb? I won't take the time to write it, I think, or let's actually do that. So there we go. Zalzalatun, fa'lalatun, and past tense, it shook, and violent shaking of something, I should say. So this verb has an object. I'm confused. There we go. Zalzala. This is you. Yuzalzilu, and the imperative. Zalzil, zalzil, meaning you tell someone to shake someone very violently, and it is this word is so actually so strong that you normally don't even use it for people. And the point of all this is that, just a minute, the point is that if you take a 3-letter word, fa'ala, and you add a hamza to it, actually the masdar here is, there is one alternative here actually, which I should mention. Fa'alalatun, and also, because you know the Surah Al-Zalzala, it is also called Surat Al, Surah Al-Zilzal. So I will make it dash here and write فعلال, سورة الزلزال. Zilzal, yep. And this version is actually what is going to be used here. So we have fi'l and we add hamza. So that is not to construct the infinitive. So it's not like you just add a hamza like this, or add it like this, but it is to construct the 4 fundamental letters. So here we have nuzul, right? Nun, zai, lam. So we have these. Okay, nun. This is going to be a bit backwards. And here we have Hamza with a kasra. So it becomes inzal. So it's Hamza, Nun, Zai, Lam. Inzal. And this form means to cause. It's literally to cause something to. Yeah, that's right. To cause something to, and then the word, the original word to descend. So this is like a universal tool that you can use in order to form new words. Okay. So in nizal, to cause something to descend from nuzul. When you have conversely, for example, dukhul, to enter something, to enter. Okay, then you can make that into a 4-letter word and write Hamza idkhal, which means to cause something to enter. So I'll just borrow this actually. To enter, like that. To cause something to enter. Meaning to insert. To insert, and inzal is to send down. Okay, so let's write these as well. To insert. So this means to send down or to bring down. Just skip. Okay, so how do we conjugate this verb? It is in the same way. So Hamza, Nun, Zai, Lam. So zalzala, fa'alala, it becomes, in the case of inzal, anzala, he sent down. Like in Surah Al-Kahf, Alhamdulillah alladhi anzala ala abdihi al-kitab. And here we have a bit of an intricacy. So the original form would be like this. It would be written like this. But the Arabs have simplified this form. So it would be يُأَنزِلُ, يُزَلْزِلُ, يُفَاعِلِلُ, right? يُأَنزِلُ, but the Hamza here was dropped in pronunciation and writing. So it became just يُنزِلُ. And this is done consistently for all 4-letter words that have been constructed by adding a Hamza, the first letter. So So this is consistent. But here, it is not removed. So it is still زلزل فعلل. What does this become? أنزل أنزل meaning send down something. So هذه السورة لو ما أنزل الله حجة على خلقه إلا هي لكفتهم. This chapter, if Allah had not sent down a proof upon his creation except for that chapter, it would have sufficed them. And I believe, inshallah ta'ala, we will cut this lecture short, this one, and we will inshallah ta'ala bring our complete focus to the next sevens that I had in store for this lecture, actually, in the next one. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.